made money and then you use it for clothes. And not just that, like if you take Binomo, it's a trading app which is not regulated by SEBI. So for that you don't pay tax, but for cryptocurrencies such as Binance and all that, you end up paying taxes. Let's say you sell 3 of them, you get a tax notice. If you're making more than 50,000 rupees, you get a tax notice from the tribunal.
Okay. So see, those kind of transactions are always routed through your bank account. Right? There is a difference between global cryptocurrency and the kind of currency you are talking about in India, where even Dream11 has started this kind of, but they are all related. So see, biggest problem for Reserve Bank of India or income tax was to trace the source of the fund. Right? Fund can route through different entities or different countries, and it can go up to terrorism, drugs, human trafficking. So see, unsolicited monies across globe go for all these kind of fundings. So that's why government want to, I don't know if you guys have heard about a concept called corporate veil in Companies Act, right? And very interesting concept. I find it personally very interesting concept, right? So company is a separate legal entity, but when there is a fraud or when there is a beneficial ownership. So what is beneficial ownership for you guys? I hope I'm not delaying this lecture. So what is beneficial ownership? Again, nobody? Yeah, please. Who runs the company? What if I'm not running the company, I'm a sleeping partner, and I'm just concerned about the profit? Will I be a beneficial owner? Yes or no? So running a company, running Sana I can do a company. But somebody, third person, is behind the scene, he's doing nothing. We call him sleeping partner. And he's getting the benefit. I don't know if you guys have heard about this Press Note 2 of 2020. Has anybody heard about this Press Note? It came into during COVID, that any neighboring country doing business with India or acquiring anything has to take prior approval of Ministry of Finance. And you know why this happened? Because in COVID, all the businesses were down. China had money. So they wanted to globally expand and acquire companies. India, they acquired 1% in HDFC company, HDFC Bank. And 1% in HDFC Bank could be billions. And that's where government, and they did not specifically put China in the circular, they put any neighboring country. So Bangladesh and Pakistan never do business with us, or they are too small. Nepal is too small. So it was directly or indirectly targeted to China, because all the beneficial ownership were routed to China. So beneficial ownership has a concept that, on paper, you may be the owner, but on the backside, so RBI has issued a circular that any fund in India coming beyond 10%, you have to have your beneficial owner's name and their KYC. So we fought a lot of cases with RBI. So imagine I have a company in Cayman Island. I hope you guys have heard this name, Cayman Island. So it's a tax haven countries. Everybody wants to enter India through tax haven countries. I put my company in Cayman. I invest in India. So if RBI or income tax goes only to Cayman Island, they will never find out who is the ultimate beneficial owner. So they lift the corporate well, and they said, whoever is owning that Cayman Island entity, we need the names of them. So generally you have a couple of big players, like big companies, incorporating company, unka KYC dena is very easy. But what happens when there is a small players or individuals? So imagine Dawood Ibrahim going to Cayman Island and putting his money on an individual basis. So आपकी company में XYZ में लगा दिया. Nobody can trace that company ki who is Dawood Ibrahim and who. So in those kind of concept, money is routing in a lot of politicians in India. They send their money outside, black money, hawala money, or a lot of people had accounts in Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and all those kind of things. And then they routed the money back into India and put it into businesses. I did a transaction for 1800 crore rupees in place like Bhopal, where 1800 crore money came from UK, showing that a company is investing. But when you go on the backside or behind the company, you will see that those same people who got the money of 1800 crore rupees in Bhopal company, they were the same people, but they had this structuring and lot of companies in between. That like same thing happened with Vijay Mallya. I mean, Nirav Modi. So all this, they had so many companies to transfer money from India to other countries, to low-lying countries or UK. I mean, UK has become a heaven for all these big guys. I mean, Nirav Modi is in UK, Lalit Modi is in UK. Aapka Vijay Mallya is in UK. So it has become heaven. So they will send those money to UK, buy property, so they have not become poor. I mean, if you talk about Vijay Mallya's wealth today also, it has multiplied. But his companies has gone for toss. His father started and now he sold that company. So coming back again on e-commerce supply, so 2022, 2020 expanded. This is just an example that Mr. Yash, a resident of India, entering into transaction with non-resident and e-commerce operators sold. So these are things that we generally do on day-to-day basis, right? I mean, you can relate to yourself. These are the things you are doing through your mobile. Example, same thing. Exclusion of acquisition levy. The North Incident. So you can guys read, or you want me to take you through? Because we have less time. Due dates for payment, I mean, I think this is not required. Hi, please. Ha, please.
Section 10, subsection 50 tells us.
So section 10 subsection 50 tells is an exemption for equalization levy, right? So as I understand, equalization levy is not in the Income Tax Act but in the Finance Act, section 165. And DTAs don't get covered, I mean equalization levy doesn't get covered under DTAs because it's not in the Income Tax Act. But then doesn't section 10 subsection 50 make that link into the Income Tax Act so you can claim DTA benefits on equalization levy?
No,
I mean it's
so-
a long shot. But
So, see, when you're dealing with such kind of scenario before coming up equalization levy, what kind of income do you think would be named as? Anybody? A guess? Wild guess?
business income? Business income?
Sorry?
Business income.
No. Because you're not doing business, you're not incorporated in a country. So imagine, मैं आपको एक छोटा सा एग्जांपल देता हूँ. पहले कोई सॉफ्टवेयर खरीदते थे आप, तो what kind of payment do you pay to those software companies? So what is it called? Licensing fee is good, but what is it called?
Loyalty.
Yes. Royalty, right? So if you're using, so see this Apple phone, there's a software upgrade every time. Laptop, you go and buy a software. So Indian entity, you go and make the payment on the shelf or by buying online. 500 रुपये, 1000, 2000, 5000 जो भी आता है उसका आपने दिया. अब जो इंडियन एंटिटी से जो आपने खरीदा है, how will, because this is not license, this is license model. So Indian entity, even Google के भी Indian entity will take it on license, right? कि आप मेरे को, because it's very expensive to buy those, and you can make copy from these things, right? I mean, you buy your MS Office software, and I think now you can use in 6 laptops or something like that, right? So it gives you license. So when a legal entity like Oracle software, you're buying Oracle software for India for your personal use or official use, then Oracle India entity has an agreement with US Oracle, and they are making payment to them in terms of royalty. So you are using my brand name, you are using my innovation, and then you are paying taxes on those. So that is royalty, FTS, fee for technical services, all those technical things happens. Whereas this levy was specifically that, anything apart from that. See, there is royalty still exists. Fee for technical services still exists. If you're dealing with those kind of services, you're still liable to pay. And royalty is again, there are thousands of judgment on royalties. Okay, royalty, because royalty again under DTA is 10%. Income tax, अगर आप business से आपने बोला business income. So if you prove that it's your business income, then you have to pay 30%. Right? So nobody want to pay 30% vis-a-vis 10%. So that's why a lot of litigation happen. Punish interest and all, penalty. If you do not comply, there's a penal provisions which are given in the levy. Recent pronouncements, High Court held that a tax refund is a refund of taxes when the tax liability is less than the tax paid. The assessee having paid taxes pursuant to special order passed by the assessing officer when the amount is refunded should carry. These are all Indian taxpayer. Google Singapore, Google. So see, this is again Google kind of thing, tribunal decision. So I'll just like last. So yeah, so another 10 minutes. So yeah, so with the introduction of this levy, India joins the league of various other countries with similar levies for providing equal opportunities to the domestic business. So why levy? So see, if I am doing business in India, I am liable to pay taxes, right? And somebody doing business operating from outside, they are not paying taxes, right? So there is a big litigation going on with Amazon and retail chain also. I don't know if you guys read newspapers, associations, or a trader association. There are a lot of litigation because if I am a trader or if I am a business doing business in India and I set up a shop in a mall, I incur a lot of cost, right? I incur lease cost, bijli, pani, and all those kind of things we have to pay. Whereas this kind of model, there is no shop. They have these warehouses, big warehouses. You order, they know that somebody from Sonipat has ordered. So their local warehouses will approach you. They will deliver the goods, and the cost of operating is very less as compared. अब दिल्ली में आप किसी बड़े मॉल में लो या चंडीगढ़ में किसी बड़े मॉल में लो, the rent itself will kill you. And if you're not making business, so this is just to bring in pally with the local traders that if I'm doing business in India, if I'm doing the same thing, e-commerce or advertisement, you are charging me. And foreign companies, just because they do not have their base, you're not charging. So this was the domestic concept. This was discussed by BEPS also, that every country has the right for equal and all those kind of things. The only country which opposed this kind of taxes globally is the US. Because all the big tech giants are born out of US. So US would always want, less taxes in other less taxes in other countries. So that's why US is the only country which has opposed so far. Okay? In order to broaden the scope of the levy beyond advertisement, the government extended the scope in Finance Act, and I told you that advertising 6%, e-commerce supply. So they broadened in 2020, and now there is a talk that government want to get away from these taxes also. This levy also. I don't know. We'll see the future, but right now government is getting a good revenue. Recently they have I think collected 4,000 crore rupees from just 2% from a lot of foreign companies. So I think any question from anybody, or nobody understood the concept? Friday evening, tomorrow I hope you don't have classes tomorrow. So this is the last thing to give on Friday. Uske baad you want to play football, I'm happy to join you. Guys, किसी को कुछ नहीं या तो समझ नहीं आया फिर हाँ प्लीज हाँ भाई पूछो बिल्कुल I'm happy to दो यार
This is a very basic question,
please.
but I still do not understand what exactly is the point of equalization levy. Because, for example, if a foreign company is selling something for 100 rupees in India, I am already paying, say, for example, I'm paying 10 rupees tax on it, indirect tax, but I'm paying tax nonetheless. So I'm already paying 10 rupees on that 100 rupees item to the government. The government is already getting revenue from that. What is the point of implementing an additional levy on it?
Okay. So you were talking about this 10% on Indian companies or foreign companies?
On a foreign company, say.
Which foreign company? Give me an example.
For example, if Netflix is selling its service in India and I am paying 18% tax on it, I'm not sure if this is a correct example. It's just off the top of
But
my
how are
mind.
you paying 18% tax on Netflix?
Sorry, sir. This is just an example.
No, I'm just saying, we also want to understand. I mean, even if you or me are wrong, it's fine.
Okay.
Right? So how is Netflix paying taxes in India, 18%?
I am paying tax to the government.
How are you paying taxes on government?
For example, out of the 1,000 rupees that they're selling to me, 18% of it, say 180 rupees as entertainment tax, I am sending it to the
So
government.
that is GST.
Yes, GST.
Right? So GST is an indirect tax, this is direct tax, right? So even imagine you're paying 18% tax. So 18% is indirect tax, GST. GST is very separate from direct. So even if you're paying from Netflix, you're not paying any taxes. Netflix is not paying any taxes in India. Direct tax. That 18% is GST. That comes under your bill that but on see, there are two kind of taxes. Basic of tax, direct, indirect. What is direct, what is indirect?
Under indirect, you can basically shift your burden to somebody else, while direct is something that directly accrues upon that person and has to be paid to the government.
So the indirect taxes is that you are not responsible for paying that taxes. So imagine you go for a movie, you buy a ticket, there is a GST. पहले VAT होता था, service tax होता था, वो सब 2017 new concept came GST. So now any supply of goods or services, मैं अगर ये phone खरीदता हूँ तो 18% there is a different slabs, right? 28% is the highest. जो मतलब रिच के लिए होता है, मतलब कि कोई एक्सक्लूसिव सर्विसेज ले रहे हो आप, जैसे एयर कंडीशन खरीद रहे हो, दैट इज फॉर योर कंफर्ट, दैट इज नॉट अ बेसिक नेसेसिटी. So indirect tax also, the rates come on the concept of the requirement, the need. I mean, if it's for mass goods, it's 5% or 0%. When it's a luxury, like you go to a 5-star hotel, that's your luxury. It's not your mandatory. You can survive without a 5-star hotel, right? Or you go to club after like Friday, Saturday, right? You can survive without going to a club. So those are a luxury. So they will generally be like liquor you buy. I mean, I hope I can discuss all this. So liquor has the highest tax, and that's why it's more expensive in different states. Yeah, please.
So, sir, my question is that I feel this concept is something similar to transfer pricing, right? You are taxing a foreign entity on.
Transfer pricing is completely altogether a different concept.
Okay.
Transfer pricing is that, what is transfer pricing? Transfer pricing is when you are dealing with related parties.
Right.
Transfer pricing is transaction between related parties. So imagine you and me are concerned company.
Okay.
I am Google US, you are Google India. India has more taxes. Or imagine I put a in between entity in Ireland. So US में 30%, India में effective tax comes to around 41%. If you calculate everything, right? कहने के लिए वो 30% है, but effective tax comes. मैंने बीच में Ireland खोल दिया. I supply goods to Irish company. Irish company supplies goods to you. ठीक है? I supply, he is unknown person. So I am supplying that good to him at a different rate and to you at a different rate, right? So to have more profit out of you. So मैं अगर मान लो आपको 100 रुपए की चीज़ मैं आपको 500 में दूंगा, ताकि आप क्या करोगे, 500 को इंडिया में 700 में बेचोगे. So 700 में 200 आपका प्रॉफिट है, 500 रुपया प्रॉफिट बाहर की कंपनी का, because you have to pay. So that 500 will be come as an expense in your balance sheet. So you are left with 200, taxation of 200 only, whereas you make an income of 700. So this is base erosion. Transfer pricing talks about arm's length transactions, right? That if you're having transaction with related parties, you have to give the same price for goods or services like you're giving to a X person. And there's a comparability, there is a comparative 5 ways of compare those transfer pricing. So so transfer pricing is only restricted to related parties. So any related party doing business across the globe have to pay taxes according to that. Whereas this levy is like I'm doing anything, Amazon, Google, Netflix, anything I'm doing. So it's not related party. right? So this is the biggest difference between this levy and transfer pricing. Anybody from the behind, backside? नहीं समझ आया भाई, black t-shirt. What's your name? Blue, black. Yeah. What's your name? Sorry? Okay. So, did you understand? Mic दे देना, please. इसके बाद बाहर मिलेंगे, don't worry. We'll meet outside also. नहीं, I want to hear you. You've got a beautiful voice. हाँ, please.
Very bad with the mic.
नहीं. I can't hear you. Try at least, try. क्या समझ आया, नहीं समझ आया? One takeaway from this levy. One takeaway or one thing that you learned. Yeah, you didn't learn anything. Mic, please. ऐसा मत करो दोस्त. I can come out the backside also. At least one pointer in the मतलब 1.5 घंटे से मैं बोले जा रहा हूँ.
Sir, I've got few insights.
Few, I want only one insight. Leave apart few.
I've learned what is equalization and the rule
Very
of
good.
equalization.
And what is it? You only said that you learned, right? So please, I mean, even if you are wrong in layman language, I am fine, but at least one learning. I mean, it will make me proud. I was also always used to sit at the back side. I used to sleep. So at least one point to make me proud.
So providing opportunities for the domestic businesses and equal opportunities for.
So what is the percentage of equalization levy? In 2016 and 2020. बस ये बता दो आप.
So it is not sure, but it is 6%.
Not sure, but 6%. And what about 2020? नहीं, वो भी sure नहीं. Nobody should whisper.
It is somewhere around 8 to 10, sir.
8 to 10. What's your evening plan?
I have a couple of papers to
Papers?
submit.
On Friday evening? No,
Yes,
come
sir.
on.
One today and the other one is on Monday.
Monday. So tomorrow you are free, right? So I should come back again tomorrow? And I think there is an event at your college tomorrow and I have been invited. Yeah, this side. Somebody was asking something. हाँ भाई बताओ. So it's 6% and 2%. Yeah.
So I had two questions.
Three,
First
yeah.
one, I saw prosecution regarding equalization levy. I was curious how that gets implemented because I know in TDS they ask for a principal officer, then they issue assessee by default 201 or something. But I guess that procedure is very invalid here, right? Because the entity itself is not in India. That was my first doubt. And secondly, I was hoping to know what your thoughts are on the global minimum tax 15%. I was hoping to know what your thoughts are.
Okay. So first of all, what is prosecution? Anybody? Prosecution? What it brings in your mind? हाँ भाई? No? You're done? Okay. Anybody from this side? What is prosecution? I want somebody else to answer. What is prosecution? हाँ भाई, what's your name? Yeah. You had a good sleep?
No, I wasn't sleeping.
You
but
wasn't?
like,
Okay, sorry. I thought you were
prosecution
sleeping.
is
So.
Essentially, the side that represents the state in any matter, in any criminal
So what
matter.
is
I would say.
prosecution in income tax?
So, like, if there is a defaulter, the person who can prosecute.
So that's what I want to know. What
Yeah.
is prosecuted?
The lawyer who essentially represents the state in matters
The
of.
concept of, I'm not talking about the lawyer prosecuting. Obviously, it will be prosecuted by a lawyer. But what is the concept of prosecution?
That's the only explanation I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
So prosecution means criminalization of income tax. Right? Earlier, what was the provision that, you pay penalty or interest on income tax and you get away. So if somebody is defaulted in payment of taxes or trying to avoid, you pay certain amount of tax penalty up to 300% and you get away. Now income tax has started going into prosecution mode. That you don't pay taxes, I'll prosecute your senior officials, your KMP, key managerial persons like managing director, chairman, and all those kind of people. So they have hired tax lawyers. And recently I interviewed by income tax and my name has gone as a public prosecutor. So, I mean, with God grace, in the next few months, I'll be representing government for High Court, Delhi, in prosecuting those people under income tax cases. So it brings fear. Nobody wants to go to jail. So if I prosecute and if you are, held liable, then paying money would not be the recourse. You have to go to the, so everybody wants to get away, they're scared of, like ED. Why people are scared of ED? So see Kejriwal, non-political statement. But he avoided 8 summons and now he's in jail. So nobody, people like you and me would want to go to jail. So it brings, so then when they start prosecution, you are scared and you sit with income tax and say, okay, whatever is your calculation, you compound it, make the payment, and I'm ready. So people are now going more and this is all online. A lot of things have gone online. So every record, earlier, I don't know if you heard a statement that Modi, when he came in 2014, he made a statement that, people are showing 10 lakh rupees income in a year and they have 4 Fortuner at home. Right? So how is that possible? 4 Fortuner matlab 40 lakh ka ek Fortuner. Right? 1.6 crore के तो गाड़ी है और आपकी income 10 lakh की है. So now any payment made beyond 2 lakh, even if you go to big shops like jewelry shop, any payment made beyond 50,000, you have to show your PAN card to keep a track of your entire revenue and basis on your expenditure. I can see if you're wearing 5 lakh ka watch and you're showing that you have 5 lakh ka income. How is it possible? So black money, a lot of things our government is doing. So these are, prosecution is concept of that. So anything else we can talk offline. Whoever is interested, right? Because I think I've taken enough time of everybody. Hanji, I think it's good. Thank you once again, everyone, and I hope you take one point. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for a wonderful session. As we come towards the end of this program, I would like to thank everyone in the audience, everyone in the live audience from the YouTube, and also Professor Sana Javed, the Assistant Director for CCIT, for trusting me with this opportunity of being the moderator. And I thank everyone present here in the room. Thank you so much.